Wow, so much happening. Figure just ran their robots for a week straight on a package sorting line with no hardware failures, and even threw a human pitted against the robots just to see what would happen. Meanwhile, Boston Dynamics is training Atlas to carry a mini fridge around and train for his place on the pitch at the World Cup. And Elon? Well, Elon is actively hiding, apparently, Optimus Gen 3 because he thinks that any video they release, the competitors are breaking it down frame by frame just to steal the designs. Could that be true? Well, we'll see. Oh yeah, and we have a few cool things from Unitree too, and a juggling robot. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Humanoid Report, where we keep you updated with this incredible robotic industry and its journey to us all having our own personal humanoid. It seems like we're seeing more and more advancements and demos coming out every single day recently. We're seeing real-time dynamic AI integration, crazy new form factors, and massive new corporate deals that prove these machines are more than just glorified YouTube demos. We have a massive update today. We're going to break down Tesla's controversial delay, Figure's impressive endurance test and their new corporate partnerships, Unitree's insane new mobility and huge mech suit, a bimanual robot that's about to put circus clowns out of a job, and exactly why Boston Dynamics is gearing up for the 2026 World Cup. So grab a drink, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the details. Let's start with Tesla. For months we've been waiting for the highly anticipated Optimus Gen 3 reveal. We were supposed to see it in the first quarter of this year, but Elon has officially pushed the presentation to late July or early August. Why the delay? According to Elon, Tesla is refusing to show any new footage because competitors in China and the US are taking their videos, going through them frame by frame and reverse engineering their custom actuator designs and joint geometries. Now, you have to ask yourself, is this true? Is Tesla actually that far ahead that they need to guard their visual data like nuclear launch codes? Or are they just falling behind the competition? Here's the reality. Tesla is actually doing something unprecedented on the manufacturing side right now. This month, they completely ended production of the Model S and Model X in Fremont. We've spoken about that in previous videos. But think about that. They're ripping out a vehicle production line that has existed for 14 years, tearing it down to the studs and replacing it with a dedicated Optimus assembly line. Musk said this 4 months turnaround for dismantling their car line to producing robots is something no company has ever done. They're targeting 50,000 to 100,000 units this year, although I reckon we'll be lucky to see 1,000, but maybe I'm just a skeptic. So the reverse engineering fear could be very real. In the robotics world, just seeing where a company places a localized center of mass or how they route their cabling can save a competitor millions in R&D. Elon's thought is that by delaying the Gen 3 reveal until production actually begins in July, Tesla is compressing the timeline. By the time rivals analyse the Gen 3 footage, Tesla won't just have a prototype, but they'll be shipping them by the thousands. Well, we'll see, that's what they hope. It could be a brilliant business move, even if it leaves Tesla fanboys and shareholders starving for updates. While Tesla's gone into hiding, Figure are out there publicly flexing with all their demos to the industry. They just released 2 demos that fundamentally shift how we look at commercial viability. First, let's talk about the logistics demo. Figure set up a package handling challenge for their Figure 3 robots named Frank, Bob, Gary and Rose. They even pitted a worker against the robots. And full disclosure, the human intern actually won the sprint, but barely. Humans are still faster in short bursts, but good luck concentrating over hundreds of hours straight. It takes roughly about 3 seconds per package for a human. Optimus was pretty much on that timeline, and the human only beat him by a few hundredths of a second per package. Not bad. The test went on for 200 hours, all live streamed on YouTube, and you can go back and watch that now. That's 8 days and 8 hours of continuous autonomous operation. The robot processed nearly 250,000 packages. It wasn't teleoperated, it wasn't faked, and more importantly, 0 hardware failures. Although there were occasional moments where the robot would go for a few seconds and hold its hands up like it was dreaming of riding a motorbike into the distance to escape its human overlords. But anyway, let's break down the economics of this. A human worker sorting packages needs breaks, sleep, and gets paid on hourly wage plus benefits. A human can sprint faster. Well, maybe not according to Unitree's robots lately, but anyway, they can't work for 200 hours straight. Figure's bots just keep going. Although they did swap some few robots in and out following their 5-ish hour stints to charge their 2.3 kilowatt hour battery pack in their torso, but with induction charging in their feet, technically they might be able to charge and work. Whether that's possible due to battery constraints and overheating though, there's a whole other question, and I know they've got a lot of safety protocols in place to protect against thermal runaway. But while one walked off to charge, the next robot in the queue seamlessly stepped up to the line to take its place, so the package sorting never stopped. Because the Figure 3 battery is equipped with a custom battery management system, a BMS, and active cooling, it supports a 2 kilowatt fast charge. With that 2.3 kilowatt hour capacity, that fast charging capability means the robot can recharge from near empty to full in roughly an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, which is actually pretty quick. So you might be thinking, why not just use a specialised sorting robot or conveyor system? I saw lots of comments posting this exact question on the YouTube comments and over Reddit. But the answer is because a specialised robot can only sort packages. A humanoid-like figure can sort packages for 20 hours, walk over to the loading dock to unload a truck, pick up a dropped box off the floor, and then go to sweep the warehouse. If a box falls, a conveyor belt jams, a humanoid just bends over, picks it up, and continues. Although in this demo, I definitely saw a few packages fall off the end and Figure didn't come around to pick those up. Anyway, the corporate world is also taking notice. Brett Adcock, the Figure CEO, just announced that Figure signed a massive commercial agreement with Catalyst Brands. If you don't know Catalyst, they operate retail giants like JCPenney and Brooks Brothers, amongst others. Figure's humanoids are being deployed to Catalyst Reno Nevada distribution centre to work on their Joey pouch sorting system. This is an immediate real-world ROI for a major holding company and some more vital real-world testing for Figure. You might remember they already completed their huge stint of work at the BMW factory and produced a few cars, including ones that Brett actually bought and has in the car park at the Figure headquarters. But Figure didn't just stop at the warehouse. Let's look at their second demo, the Helix 2 bedroom tidy. Figure showed 2 humanoids resetting a bathroom in just a few minutes. They opened doors, hung clothes, put away headphones, took out the trash and worked together to make a bed. And here is the technical breakthrough you need to understand. There was no central coordinator telling them what to do. There was no shared planner. Each robot was running a single learned visual language action policy, reading the room through its own camera and inferring the partner's intent purely through motion, just like 2 humans when folding a sheet. Think about the impact this has on the hospitality industry. Hotel cleaners, hospital janitorial staff. Yeah, the robots might be slower than a human housekeeper right now, but with a fleet of them, you could have one human manager overseeing 20 robots turning over a whole floor of hotel rooms. So honestly, it's a bit worrying for the physical trades. I spent a massive chunk of last year building this very office and gym that I'm standing in right now. You look at a robot that can dynamically handle a floppy, unpredictable bedsheet with a partner, and you realise, how long until these things can hang plasterboard? How long until they can do lawn care, gardening, or basic builder jobs? The trades used to think AI would only come for the desk workers, and Figure's proving that no physical job is off limits. Meanwhile, Unitree is fighting hard to keep their name in the conversation. They released a demo of their robot handling some simple tasks. Now, to be brutally honest, the difference between Figure and Unitree on chores right now is night and day. Figure looks composed and competent. Unitree looks a bit more like a toddler trying to help out in the kitchen or something. The movements don't seem very precise, and I can't say it instills much trust, especially their hands with the kind of big claw grippers, although I know you can pay for some more dexterous hands, but the software is lacking. But as always, these demos are the worst they'll ever be, and there's tons of companies working on the software layers for Unitree bots, and that's where they have that advantage. They sell their hardware, but there's so many companies that get that and build that software, and some of those may be better at building software than Figure or Tesla. We don't know yet. So don't count Unitree out, because they showed off something else that completely redeemed them: real-time dynamic voice commands. Usually, when you see a Unitree demo, the robot is executing a pre-programmed scripted animation. Usually, that's a bit of kung fu, but not this time. In this demo, the G1 was processing spoken commands live and generating the movements autonomously in a single take. You just instruct the robot on what you want, and the AI translates that to natural language in physical talk and balance control instantly. This is the real breakthrough. The hardware is catching up, but the embodied AI, the brain, is advancing at light speed. I'm looking forward to seeing more demos of this in the future and how they improve it. And if you thought they were just focusing on walking, think again. Unitree just gave their robot skates. We've seen wheels on robots before, but Unitree has developed a system that transitions between walking, rolling and skating. This solves a massive efficiency problem. Walking is incredibly energy intensive. Wheels are fast and efficient, but they suck at stairs. By putting lockable wheels on a humanoid, it could glide across a warehouse floor using minimal battery and then lock the wheels to step over debris or walk up a flight of stairs. This hybrid mobility might just be the standard moving forward, but Unitree saved the best for last. They showed off a massive rideable mech robot. We waited literally decades for a cool mech suit. Every time a company shows one off, it looks like a glorified forklift that moves at 1 mile per hour and costs $10 million. But Unitree's mech actually looks incredible. Moves with pretty fluid agility, and you can literally climb inside and pilot it. And the craziest part, they plan on making it available for public purchase. I don't know about you, but I'm already figuring out how to explain to my fiance why we need a giant mech suit parked in the driveway next to our EV. Imagine taking your kid to school in a mech. Now let's take a quick detour into pure research, because this one actually impressed me more than I thought it would. If you've been to the circus lately, you might want to warn the clouds, because I think they might be out of a job soon. Just maybe don't tell Pennywise. The RAI Institute just unveiled Athena Zero, a bimanual robot built for extreme dynamic manipulation. This isn't just about picking up a box, this is about high speed dexterity. They've trained this robot to throw a baseball at 70 miles per hour and catch a ball at 41 miles per hour, which, given the short reaction distance they use, is the equivalent of catching a 103 mile per hour fastball from a professional pitcher. The same technology is what allows for lightning fast juggling and dynamic object tracking. So how do they do this? It comes down to effective mass and gear ratios. Most industrial robots are heavy, rigid and dangerous. The Athena Zero uses quasi-direct drive actuators with very low gear ratios, about 5:1. This means that arms have an effective mass of just 9 pounds, which is incredibly close to a human arms at 6 pounds. Because of this low inertia, the robots can switch seamlessly between delicate, compliant contact and forceful dynamic motion. It learned to regulate its hand properties using task readiness impedance. Just like a human subconsciously tenses their muscles before catching a heavy object or catching a juggling pin, it's not just programmed to juggle or catch. It dynamically understands the physics of the object in midair. So when humanoid hands start incorporating this level of lightning fast reaction time, the limitations on what they can manufacture, assemble or catch drop to zero. And just for the sheer fact that there's so many demos coming out, from doing hand manipulation to better walking to different movements, there's so many companies working on these problems together. We're going to advance so quick in this industry. Finally, we're revisiting the granddaddy of robotics, Boston Dynamics. Since retiring the hydraulic version and bringing out the all-electric Atlas, everyone's been waiting to see what it can actually do in a commercial setting. Well, Hyundai, who owns Boston Dynamics, just dropped a video of Atlas casually walking up to a £50 mini fridge, squatting down, picking it up, turning 180 degrees and placing it on a table. Now on the surface, moving a fridge doesn't sound as flashy as doing a backflip. Also, anyone watching closely could see the fridge was unplugged and had a few dents in it. So maybe don't hire Atlas for your moving company just yet. But from an engineering standpoint, this is a masterpiece of something called a whole body control. When you pick up a heavy, awkward object like a fridge, your centre of gravity completely changes. Just imagine doing it now, how cumbersome those objects are. Atlas calculates this in real time using reinforcement learning. It has no prior data on the exact mass of the fridge, but through sensor-based state estimation, it instantly self-corrects its balance. It bends its knees, lowers its hips and shifts its weight perfectly. Hyundai claims they've tested it internally with a £100 fridge with zero issues. This proves Atlas has transitioned from a viral YouTube backflipper into a heavy-duty blue-collar working machine. Well, maybe anyway. But Atlas isn't just sticking to the factory floor. In a massive marketing push, Hyundai just launched their Next Starts Now campaign for the 2026 World Cup. Hyundai is bringing Atlas and Spot directly to the World Cup venues to support tournament operations and enhance fan engagement. They're actively training Atlas in dynamic footwork. Imagine walking into a World Cup stadium and seeing a humanoid robot helping with logistics, crowd management, or even kicking a football around with the kids at the van zones. Exposing millions of everyday people to advanced robotics at a global event like the World Cup is going to normalise this technology faster than anything else in history. Currently, they're releasing a new video of their training results every day, so look out for our next video where we'll cover this in more depth. We're looking at an industry that is moving so fast it's almost impossible to keep up with all the updates at the moment. Tesla is revamping their entire factory floor in secrecy. Figure is clocking 200-hour shifts and partnering with retail giants. Unitree is putting AI on skates. And Boston Dynamics is getting ready to demo humanoids to billions of footy fans globally. We're watching science fiction be made real. The hardware is here, the AI is here, and the commercial contracts are being signed right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. We've talked about Figure resetting bedrooms and the disruption for the trades. What do you think will be the first trade or blue collar job that is really disrupted by the humanoids? Could it be just, like we've said, hotel housekeeping, some type of gardening, lawn care, or something more substantial like whole construction industries? Don't forget to hit that like button if you want more updates on the humanoid revolution, and subscribe to stay ahead of the future. And for staying till the end, enjoy this next clip. See you in the next one.